Hello, my name is Cindy Seward, and I work for Optimal Benefits Professionals, or OBP. We are Paradise Jet's benefits broker, and we work with your executive team to, look at your benefit plans and what that they want to offer. So today I'm here because your benefits open enrollment is going to start tomorrow, February 17th, and this is for benefits that will be effective March 1st. Your benefit plan goes from March 1st, 2021 through February 28th, 2022. So whatever you elect now will remain in place until next March 1st. You should have received an email from Linda Michaels regarding open enrollment. And she also mentioned that this year, instead of using paper forms, you're going to be enrolling online through an online enrollment system called EASE, E-A-S-E. I think you're going to find it very user-friendly, and your information is in there, but you will need to enroll in benefits or waive whatever you decide you want to do. Your current benefit enrollment is not in there. When you're in the plan, you will see there's summaries of the plans that you can look at. The benefits guide that I'm using today will be in there, so you can look at that also if you want to re-review something that we talk about today. So I'm going to skip a few pages here and talk about here that this is, like I mentioned, it is your open enrollment. So this is the one time a year when you can enroll in benefits that you may have waived in the past. You can cancel, terminate your plan, put somebody on, take somebody off, whatever you want to do. This is the time of year to do that. The only other time of year you are able to make a change is if you have a qualified life event, such as you get married or you have a child or divorced, or say you're covered by Paradise Jets, but your spouse is covered by their employer, but they leave that job and you now want them to come on to benefits here. That would be considered a qualified life event. So you have 30 days from that event date to make that change. So you should reach out to HR to get that done. If you don't do it in the 30 days, you will have to wait till next year's open enrollment. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about the medical plan. This is through UHC, which it is today, and there's very little difference with the plan you have today than what's going to happen on March 1st. There are a couple changes which I'll talk about when we go through, but they are minor changes. So first, if you go for preventive care, you don't pay anything. This includes your annual physical every year, well women exam, anything that is for preventive care. You're not ill, the doctor isn't looking for something specific because you're not feeling well. But if you are sick and go to the doctor, your primary care office visit, you're going to pay a $30 copay. And then for a specialist office visit, there's two tiers, tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1 is what United calls a premium care physician, which has met the UHC's criteria for providing quality and efficient care. This doesn't mean that the tier 2 doctor isn't any good. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that the tier 1 physician has gone through and met the criteria that UHC requires for a tier 1 doctor. So if you do go to a tier 1 specialist, you're just going to pay $30 copay. If you go to a tier 2, you're going to pay $60. If you go onto the UHC website, you can look in their physicians network, the provider network, and it'll designate whether it's a premium care physician or not. So you will know that if your doctor is, or if you're looking for a new doctor, you can see whether they are or not. If you go for a telehealth or virtual visit, which has become very popular with COVID when you don't want to leave the house or go to a doctor's office, but you can do this through your phone, through virtual, and you can also use something like FaceTime so they can see what you're talking about if, let's say, you had a rash or something is going on. But you're not going to pay anything if you use telehealth. Your urgent care visit is $50. And emergency room, if you go to emergency room, you have to meet your deductible first, and then you'll pay 20% of the balance. So your deductible is $1,000 for individual, a maximum of $2,000 for a family. This is reached individually. So what that means is, say you have 3 people in your family and you go to the doctors and you reach that $1,000 deductible. You then will go into your co-insurance, which is 20% after that deductible. But then second person, say they meet $500 toward the $1,000 deductible. So now as a family, you've reached $1,500. So that second person is not into their co-insurance yet because they didn't meet $1,000. But then your third person also meets $500. So that person plus the second meets 500 plus 500 is 1,000 plus your 1,000. Now you've reached the family maximum of $2,000. So everybody is in the co-insurance. So if they have any services, they're going to be paying 20%. You know, it could be 2 people meeting $1,000. So you meet 1,000, the second person in your family meets 1,000. So you 2 are in your co-insurance, and then that third person needs some care because you've reached the family max of $2,000 deductible. That third person doesn't need to meet a deductible and would go straight into the co-insurance. Your out-of-pocket maximum is the most you're going to pay out of pocket in a calendar year. And once you meet that out-of-pocket maximum, everything for the balance of the calendar year is paid 100%. So the out-of-pocket maximum for an individual is $8,150, and the max for family is $16,300. And just like your deductible, it's reached individually. And just want to stress that your deductible and out-of-pocket maximum, as I mentioned, is on a calendar year. So if you've met your deductible already in 2021, you're not meeting it again because your plan renews on March 1st. That will stay in place through the whole year. So if you've met your deductible, you're in your co-insurance, and maybe you meet your out-of-pocket maximum before the end of the year, and then everything would be covered 100%. So hospital, whether it's inpatient or outpatient, you have to meet your deductible first if you haven't met it, and then you're paying the 20% co-insurance. Okay. Going back, I told you I'd mentioned the out-of-pocket maximum has gone up a little bit, but hopefully a majority of you are not reaching that out-of-pocket maximum, so it won't impact you. And if you do, you know, you've had to read a little bit more, but not a whole lot. Prescription drugs, the tier 1, 2, and 3 are remaining the same. Tier 4 is what is changing. So if you go to a retail pharmacy for tier 1, which is primarily generic, you're going to pay $10. Tier 2 is $35. Tier 3 is $90. And then tier 4, which is very expensive specialty drugs, you're going to be paying 50% of the cost of that drug. If you aren't sure if you're doing a tier 4, you probably aren't, because those that are, they know they are in a tier 4. They know they're taking a very expensive drug. Okay. When you go to retail, it's a 30-day supply. If you are on a maintenance drug that you're taking every month, you might want to consider mail order because it is a little cheaper, and you get a 90-day supply versus the 30-day supply at retail. There are also out-of-network benefits, but you're going to pay a lot more out of pocket. As you can see, the annual deductible is a lot more than the in-network deductible, which is $1,000. Out-of-network is $10,000. Your co-insurance is 50% out-of-network versus 20% in-network, and your out-of-pocket maximum is $20,000 individual, max of $40,000 per family. So you'll see here the pay deductions, just like you're doing today. The Paradise Jets covers 100% of your cost, whether it's for yourself or your dependents. And that is very unusual these days. So please say thank you to the executive you see who has made that decision, because again, it's very unusual to see that they're paying 100%. All right. So moving on to your dental plan. The dental is remaining exactly the same. There are no changes. I'll quickly go through this though to ensure you understand it. So if you go to an in-network dentist, you're just going to pay for cleanings. There's no deductibles, no coinsurance. It's covered 100%. So that's cleanings, routine x-rays, exams, covered 100%. You don't have to pay anything. The individual deductible is $50. Family deductible is $150. So that is 3 people need to meet $50 deductible, and then the next person, you have a 4th person in your family, they don't need to meet the deductible. They go straight into coinsurance. So for basic services, after you've met your deductible, is covered 20%. Most common here is going to be your fillings, most common there. Endodontic and periodontal work is also covered under basic. Sometimes on plans it's covered under major, so it isn't covered as much, but on your plan it is covered under basic. And again, if you haven't met your deductible for basic, you haven't met your deductible for the year, you'd have to meet that first, and then it's covered at 20. You'll be paying 20%. And major work, which would be like root canals, are covered at 50% after your deductible. Okay. And again, Paradise Jets is covering 100% of the premium for you and your family, so you don't have to pay anything for this coverage. Okay, so moving on to vision. Again, this plan is not changing. It's exactly what you have today. You can get an exam every year, and if you go in network, you're just going to pay a $10 copay for that exam. Frames, lenses, you can also get every 12 months. For frames, it's covered up to $150. If you find frames that are more expensive than that, you can get a 20% discount and anything over the $150. For the lenses, all you're going to pay is a $10 copay. You can also get contacts every year. They cover up to $150 for contacts. You also would pay a $60 copay for contact fitting and evaluation. Now, please be aware that you cannot get a benefit for both contacts and glasses. So you have to pick which you want the full benefit for, and then you get a discount on the other. When you go to get your glasses and contacts, they can tell you which is better to use the full benefit and which to take the discount. Usually I find that glasses are better to take the full benefit and then get a discount on contacts, but I just want to make sure you are aware of that. There are also out-of-network benefits, as you can see here. You're going to pay more out of pocket, but it is available if you like to go somewhere that's not covered under the network of the plan. Principal is your carrier for the vision, but they use the VSP network. So when you go to look for a doctor that's in network, you will be going to a VSP site, and that is why they're using the VSP network. And like your medical and dental, Paradise Jets picks up the full cost for this plan for yourself and family. So just like you are today, it will continue next year that you do not need to pay anything for the coverage. And then there's also a basic life insurance, an AD&D, or accidental death and dismemberment. All employees automatically get $50,000 of life insurance. So if you die, your beneficiary would get that $50,000. If you die in an accident, that's where the accidental death and dismemberment comes in, and that also would cover you for another $50,000, or your beneficiary. So if you die, your beneficiary is going to get $100,000. And then moving on to critical illness and accident. These are voluntary plans. If you decide you want this coverage, you do pay for it. Critical illness covers you if you have a critical illness, such as you have cancer, or you've had a heart attack, or brain tumor, or you need bypass surgery. You would get a benefit depending what you elect, but you can be between $5,000 and $50,000 for yourself. Spouse is $2,500 to $25,000, and your child, you can get 20% of your election. It actually is automatic. The child will automatically be enrolled if you enroll for yourself. Okay. The guaranteed issue is the amount that you can get without having to get approval by the insurance company, which is principal. So if you take $10,000, your coverage is automatically covered as of March 1st. If you want 25,000, that additional 15,000 would have to be approved by principal. For your spouse, the guaranteed issue is 5,000, so anything over that would have to be approved by principal. And in order to get spouse or child life, you do have to take coverage for yourself. Okay. Be aware that there is a pre-existing condition restriction. So if you have been treated or diagnosed for any condition 6 months prior to your effective date, and you have something happens with that condition, you will not receive any benefit unless you've been covered by the plan for at least 12 months. If you are currently covered under critical illness, that will continue, but you will need to put that amount that you're covered on today into ease when you are going in to elect all your benefits. Okay. Accident insurance, you also can take this and you pay for it. Also, principal is the carrier. If you ever experience an injury, depending what the injury is, the insurance carrier will pay a benefit to give to you, again, based on the type of injury you have. When you're in ease and you're on the accident insurance page, there is a link to a summary which will tell you what the benefit is for different accidents, so you can see if it's something you want to enroll in or not. And again, if you're enrolled in it today, you will need to indicate if you are enrolled or not, but that would continue as long as you indicate you want to continue it. And going back to critical illness on the pre-X, if you are covered today, if you've been covered for a year, the pre-X will not apply to you. Okay, but if you're enrolling for the first time, then it will apply. Okay. And then I have a benefits contact sheet in the guide. So United Healthcare, this would be the website, myuhc.com, that you would go to once you are enrolled. It's a place you can go in if you've lost your ID card, or you can see if a claim has been processed and what was paid or not and what you're going to be responsible for. There's also a phone number if you want to give them a call. The OBP client manager, that is me, Cindy Seward, and you can email me anytime with questions you might have or give me a call. So while you're enrolling in your benefits, if you want to talk through some of the coverages, reach out to me. Or if you ever have claim issues, you don't think something was paid correctly or you're not sure why, how it was paid, give me a call or email me the documents and I can review those with you. Again, you have principal, dental, vision, life insurance. And then the last one is the EASE website address. Now, you can't go to there now. You have to wait until you get your email that shows, that is a link there that then allows you to log in, set up your password. Once you set up that password, this is the link you can return to later if you ever want to look at what you've enrolled in or want to pull up summaries of the plans. It's all there. And then the last thing in the benefits guide are compliance notices. These are notices where Paradise Just, it's required by law to give these to you. So you might want to take a look. I'm not going to go through these, but they are here for you to review. So again, your benefits open enrollment will be starting on February 17th and it'll go through the 24th. So you have a week to get in there to make your enrollments if you want to keep what you have today or make any changes. What you have today is not going to carry over, so you do need to go in and make sure you make those elections. If you have any questions, again, please reach out to me at cseward@optimalbenefitspro.com or give me a call at 480-508-1146. I thank you for your time today, and again, if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.